I have my super cute Christmas sweater on, but I am already hot. And then as you can see behind me, my son-in-law has been working so hard on our I cannot talk this morning, on our new addition, and he's already put the second floor on in the walls. So I woke up this morning, I looked outside, I'm like, oh, I have walls on my new addition. To my bedroom. And so it's been quite difficult to make videos because of the hammering and the cutting things. And so I'm sorry I'm a little behind putting together the Thanksgiving dinner. I know I did the turkey a while ago, which at the end of the video, I'll have the video link so you can like hit the video to see the turkey. But today I thought we'd do the stuffing and the mashed potatoes. I'm gonna share with you how to make the perfect deviled eggs and some tricks that my daughters have shown me or shared with me. And then we're gonna make funeral potatoes, corn casserole, green bean casserole. I'm gonna show you the brand I use for the rolls. Like you can make your own rolls, but I get these Rhodes dinner rolls and it's so easy. They're frozen. You just put them on the counter and thaw them out and bake, like super easy. I actually will make cinnamon rolls out of them too. Love it, love it, love it. And then, of course, I think I was going to do a pumpkin pie with you. So I think I'll do a pumpkin and a pecan because my favorite is pecan. So I'm going to give you everything you need to put together the perfect traditional Thanksgiving. So turkey's done. Now stuffing and mashed potatoes. Here is everything that you're going to need to make this super easy sausage stuffing for Thanksgiving. For some reason, I'm having a hard time saying sausage this morning. The stuffing mix. Now I use the cornbread because I really like the texture of it, but you can also do turkey and chicken flavored. And I also like to add dried cranberries to mine. You can do raisins if you want, but I like the cranberries because it gives like a tartness to it. And then Italian seasoning. Now you can just use basil, thyme if you'd like, but I feel like the Italian seasoning has so many different seasonings in it that it really does make the cornbread better. And then celery, ground pork sausage, and an onion. Joshy's on his way to filling the wood stove. He's super busy. And then of course we're gonna make the perfect mashed potatoes. So I like to get the Yukon Golds just because the skins are thinner and I don't take the skins off of mine. And I've been making mashed potatoes like this forever and my kids don't even notice. Of course, butter. Butter always makes everything so much better. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of cream, some pepper, and then salt. And this is my salt chicken. That's my salt chicken. I use the high mineral salt. All right, well, let's get going on these two dishes. I have my sausage in my pan. Now I got my celery all washed up. I'm just kind of preparing it right now. You're gonna add the sausage. I'll probably do like a half a stick of butter because I do like want a little bit more fats when I'm cooking it because you want to saute your vegetables so they're nice and tender. And I have like my nice big onion. Now I normally like to use the yellow onions, but for some reason I'm having a hard time finding like nice big onions in the grocery store. But I'm finding them in like a pack where you get white, red, and yellow. So I don't know what's going on. But when I do my celery, I actually like to cut it kind of small. Now, I don't mind celery, but I just don't like big chunks of celery. Because I feel like when you cook, you want to make sure your ingredients and your spices kind of blend together. You don't want to be eating and be like, oh, celery, you know. You want to be like, oh, I taste some celery, and then I also taste onions and sausage. So I like to do my celery smaller. I even do it when I make my soups. I do the celery small too, because I want it in there, but I just don't want it to take it over. And celery is so like crunchy. It takes a little bit for it to cook down. And so I'm just gonna slice this up, and then we're gonna add everything to the pan. While that's going, we'll prepare the stuffing mix according to the box. It's just basically like water and I think some butter. I don't know. I don't actually normally make stuffing unless like it's something like specific that we're eating or like the holidays. Like I honestly don't make stuff. And I have a couple boys that really aren't crazy about the stuffing. So then I have to make them other things. So I'm trying to think as I'm cooking like what my kids love. My son Gideon is going to his in-laws for Thanksgiving this year. And so Emily's mom messaged me. She's like, we want to have like the perfect Thanksgiving for Gideon. So what does he like? What's like his favorites? And I'm thinking, he loves everything. But then when he came in here, he's like, Mom, I love sweet potato casserole. And I'm thinking, sweet potato casserole? Like I don't ever really make sweet potato casserole. I mean, I've made it a couple times. Well, actually, I've made it lately because the kids have been asking for it. which I kind of forgot about that. We're gonna have to add sweet potato casserole. And I come up with a recipe that's absolutely amazing. Like, so yummy. So sweet potato casserole is kind of something new that I've been making for the holidays. I haven't made it for years, and my kids had asked me a couple years ago, Mom, will you make sweet potato casserole? I'm like, I guess. And so I put together like the perfect recipe, like it's super yummy. And so I'm trying to think of like what else Gideon likes. I mean, he definitely is like a holiday, he loves the holiday foods. And so I was like thinking green bean casserole, and he likes the like brown and serves, those cheap brown and serve rolls. He's a turkey guy. He likes, I think he's a pumpkin or pecan. I think he's, no, maybe he's pumpkin. So I was trying to list like all these different things, and then he came home and was like, Mom, I love this and this. And I'm like, eek. So I had to message back to Mom and say he also loves sweet potato casserole. So he basically loves everything about Thanksgiving. So just thinking, what are my kids' favorites? So Robert's favorite is the funeral potatoes. Brendan's favorite and Madison's is the corn casserole. Gideon's, I'm going to say Haley's the sweet potato casserole just recently, but she's a mashed potato girl. David Bell is mashed potatoes and gravy, and he also likes the stuffing. Noah is anything sweet. He likes the pies. I mean, he really does. He loves cherry pie. Every year he makes a cherry pie for Thanksgiving. Joshua, I'm going to say he's turkey. My husband's turkey. Isabella, Lizzie, mac and cheese. Oh, I also make mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness, I'm making my list super long. Izzy's mac and cheese, and she'll usually help me make it. So Isabella likes the mac and cheese. I'm going to say for me, I'm going to say the sausage stuffing and pecan pie. Did I miss anybody? Noah. I don't know what Emily's is yet because I haven't got to do like a real holiday with her. David Richards, I think he is a turkey guy too. So I think I got everybody. I don't think I missed anybody. But, and then for Christmas, my kids actually like ham. They don't want turkey, they want ham. And it's so funny. So it's a tradition in our home, super funny, is every year at Christmas, I do breakfast pizzas. That's just our tradition. I've always made breakfast pizzas. I make them the night before, and then I cook them a little bit, but not all the way. And then I pop them in the oven because we'll open presents, because there's so many of us, we open presents. And then we take a little break. And then we have breakfast, and then we clean up stuff, and we start opening presents again. So each of the kids will buy each other a present. They do like a, I'm trying to think, I can't think of my words this morning. They do a sibling exchange. And so they do that too, but we just have so many people, and my boys are all workers, and so they get a lot of tools, so it's big boxes. My girls are easier because, we don't require like gigantic presents. Like we don't really care about a big tool or something like that. Like we're just smaller. We like smaller boxes. Boy, these onions are potent. And so me and my husband will get up in the morning and we wash eggs. That's kind of our like tradition, is just to give everybody a day off, because when the kids were little, they took turns washing eggs. And so me and my husband would give them a day off to sleep. Well, they wouldn't sleep in because they'd be so excited to come down. Even my kids who don't live here, they are like here right away, because we read the story of Jesus's birth, and each year somebody gets to pick who gets to read. Last year it was Brendan. And then that's when we have coffee and start opening presents and stuff. So these are just crazy. So that's kind of our tradition when it comes to Christmas. And so then on Thanksgiving, our tradition is we go out 2 days before and we get everything we need for Thanksgiving. And then we have lunch. And then the day before, so we start prepping things. And then the day before, we get everything we need to bake. Whoa. Holy gamoles. These onions are strong. I've noticed that though. All onions are strong. Even the sweet ones, they're just so strong. I don't know what the deal is. All right. So that's all done. Let me just collect myself because my eyes are, look at, holy. It's craziness. Let me clean up my area. We're going to start the veggies and then start the stuffing. I like to, okay, I can't talk. I'll be back. Not only do I have my sausage and the veggies in here, I added a tablespoon of Italian seasoning and also a tablespoon of garlic. I forgot the garlic. I add garlic to everything, and then a half a stick of butter. So for the stuffing, it is 1.5 cups of water to a half a stick of butter. So of course I have 2 packages. So you're gonna start just by following the directions. You're gonna add the water and the butter to a pot, and you're gonna boil that until the butter is melted. And then once the water's hot, then you're gonna add your stuffing mix, stir it up, put a lid on it, because it's kind of like rice. You wanna cook it, but then add a lid so it kind of steams and gets nice and fluffy. And so while the veggies are sauteing, we're gonna get this done, and then I like to put it all together into a casserole dish and then bake it in the oven so the top is nice and crispy. Now in the past, I've added some cheese to it. The kids really like that, but I'm not gonna do that. And so also, I like to add the cranberries to the water too. So I'll add a cup of cranberries to the water as it starts boiling, and then I'll add the stuffing to it. So I might even add, because the cranberries are gonna absorb some of the water, so I think I'm gonna add another half a cup of water to this. So that would be an additional 1/4 cup per bag, depending on how many cranberries you do, but they are gonna absorb it. So I'm gonna add an additional half a cup, and then once it heats up and starts to boil, I'm gonna add the cranberries. Once the butter melts, then we add the stuffing mix. So let me go grab some more water and get this going, because next up is gonna be the mashed potatoes. And I'm kind of trying to hurry also, because when my son-in-law gets here and starts hammering and stuff, you're not gonna be able to hear me. So I got up super, super early to get this done, because it's just been, it's exciting, but noisy, right? New construction is exciting, but it's like so noisy. And he came in came in for lunch, and I'm like, I'm so annoyed with you. I cannot stand listening to you anymore. He started laughing because it's like hammer, hammer, hammer. I'm like, let's go get coffee in town. I need a little break from the hammering. Okay, I'll go grab the water, come back, and then get all this going. It just looks great. I just love stuffing. So I added the water, the extra water to the pot, and now I'm gonna get these veggies going. And then once this heats up, I'm gonna add my cup of cranberries. Now, if it was me, I would add tons of cranberries, but I'm not cooking for just me. I'm cooking for the whole family, because I just really love them so much. But you wanna do it enough so kind of it adds like a little sweetness to it. It's like a salt and savory type, or a sweet and savory kind of dish. Now, you don't have to add the cranberries if you don't want, and if you don't add that extra water, because you don't want your stuffing to be kind of mushy. But adding it or putting it into the oven after and baking it helps that if it is kind of wet, it'll kind of dry it out a little bit and make it a little bit more fluffy. So I'm gonna keep doing this with my butter and my sausage. I do like lots of celery though when I'm making my stuffing, but it has to be cooked. I don't like the crunchy celery, but it just, I don't know. I just love it. I got this idea from my husband's grandmother. She would make a sausage stuffing, and I never thought of that. Like, my dad made stuffing from scratch, and he added lots of sage to it. I'm not a sage person. And then he would add like the liver and stuff to it, but never sausage. And so when me and my husband got married and his grandma was in charge of the stuffing, I'm like, I love this. And so then I just added my additional cranberries to it. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't, but I don't know, I just really like it. But you can do raisins if you want. I mean, some people even add nuts to theirs. I don't know if I go that far, but I mean, I'm not opposed to trying it either. So, okay, so we're gonna get this onion. Oh, I hear my son-in-law. An onion just flew out the door. So I'm gonna continue cooking this for about 10 minutes till the veggies are tender. And I'm gonna grab a casserole dish, and then the butter is starting to melt. And so once that boils, I'll add the cranberries. All right. Ooh, it smells great. Now that the water was all heated up, I added my cup of cranberries. So the cranberries are hard. By adding them to the water, it makes them softer. So I'm just stirring this up. We want that butter to melt. So then once the butter's melted and it starts to boil a little bit, we're gonna add that stuffing. Like, it's really super easy. So it's bubbling. I added the one stuffing. Now we're gonna add the second. There we go. And then just stir it up. You're gonna want it to boil, I think maybe a couple minutes. See how it's already taken on that liquid? It already looks good. And then once it's saturated and it cooks for a little bit, we're just gonna turn off the heat and add the lid. You can see these veggies, I'm gonna turn them down. Can you hear my son-in-law's already here? Busy, busy guy. He's doing a great job on my addition. Just can't believe it, I'm so excited, super excited. These veggies are looking good. Smells super wonderful. I really do love the holidays. I love the traditional meal. Now I have a friend that they don't like the traditional Thanksgiving, so each year they pick something. I think this year is like cowboy or roundup. I don't really know. They've done fondue, but they pick a theme and they make a non-traditional Thanksgiving. All right. And then the stuffing, we continue mixing that. I'm gonna turn this off and then add a lid to it. It looks really good. I'll show you guys. Nice. All right, look at that. It looks good. We haven't even added the veggies and the sausage and the onions, and that's a veggie. Okay, so moisture or the water's been absorbed. So now we're gonna put the lid on it for about 10 minutes. Get these veggies going. I forgot to grab my casserole dish. I gotta go grab my casserole dish. I'm gonna heat my oven up to probably 350, 375. We're just gonna throw it in there for maybe 15 minutes just to kind of dry it out a little bit so it's nice and fluffy. And then just to have like a little hard top on it, but just like a little, so it's like a little bit of crispy when you dip it in, and or when you go to get some stuff. I can't explain it. Because you don't really want a crust, but you just want it to kind of be a little browned on top. You'll see. I don't know. It actually takes like a normal stuffing and makes it look like a gourmet meal, like a gourmet side. It's pretty cool. Okay, this is almost done. So close. And then next up is the mashed potatoes. The veggies are done, so let's get them into the pot with the stuffing. Okay, let's get the rest of those veggies in there. That looks good. Now let's finish this. Nice and buttery, and oh, I love stuffing. See how it's still kind of wet? We want to dry that out just a little bit. Oops, sorry about that. And easy, super easy. I have seen people make their own stuffing. That's just not for me. I just don't want to rip up the bread and dry the bread and that. I'm sure it's healthier to do it that way, but I don't know. I just need to get her done because I got so much going on. I have to get my stuff done. Okay, let me grab my dish. Beautiful. I wasn't sure on what size to get. Like normally when I make it, I make way more than this because we have so many people. And I'll put it in like a big, huge one. But I just doubled this one. My kids are gonna get the sausage stuffing twice because they get to get this one and they're gonna get one for Thanksgiving. So maybe I'm gonna need, I do have another smaller one over there. I actually got these from my mother-in-law years ago. Isn't this the cutest? It's so cute. All right, wow. Wow, it looks, come on. How wonderful does that look? So nice. Okay, let me grab the other one. Here's my smaller one. We'll fill the rest of it with that. And I know I'm a little behind. I'm so sorry. You're probably thinking, hey, Heather, I needed to make Thanksgiving dinner and you made the turkey like 2 weeks ago. I am so sorry. It has been so busy and so noisy that I can barely get anything done. Okay, but I'm gonna catch up. This is this one. I'm gonna be doing eggs here soon, so I'm gonna make sure you get every meal before Thanksgiving comes. Okay. Ooh, all right, that looks great. I don't wanna waste any of it. There's a cranberry there. Let's get that cranberry. I don't like to waste food at all, for sure. Okay. All right, there we go. So we have 2 of them here. Throw those in the oven. Oh, I found another cranberry. You guys are like, come on, Heather, just get off the cranberries. I can't help it. I really do like them in there. If you like cranberries and you want just like a little sweetness, I'm telling you. I mean, come on. How beautiful is that? It's not even baked yet and it's amazing. Ooh, I might have to have stuffing for lunch today. Okay, pop it in the oven about 350, 375 for just maybe 10 to 12 minutes because it is already cooked. You just want to get it all fluffy and kind of a little hard and crusty on top. And okay, off to the oven. Wait, forgot this one too. Okay, here we go. I got my potatoes all rinsed, so I just rinse them in the bag. So because the bag has this like little mesh on the back, just rinse them in the bag and then just bring the bag over. You don't have to dump them out of the bag, rinse and bring back. See, because it has the mesh, so the water goes right through it. So just go ahead and rinse. Rinse them in the bag, no big deal. So I like to use the Yukon Golds because the skins are thinner and I do not take the skins off of my potatoes. I have never done it. I even can them this way. So you don't need to do that because they're so thin that they'll just mush right in. So I filled my pot with half of water, and plus they're so smooth and buttery. Like it's not like a red potato. It's like to even get through it. I'm not a russet fan. I grew up on russet potatoes, but I found Yukon Golds and I love them so much. And they're just so smooth, so buttery tasting. Now, because you're making mashed potatoes, it's not like a potato salad. You don't have to cut them into tiny pieces. You just want to cut them smaller so it's easier to cook. And so you have to remember with potatoes, they're a starch. So a starch has, it's going to thicken, right? Anything with a starch thickens. And so even though we're not making potato salad, you don't want to cook down your potatoes until they're like mush, because then you're going to have issues and your potatoes are going to be very like thick and kind of like gooey, like almost like a thick glue. So you just want to cook your potatoes until you put a fork in them and the fork goes in nice. You don't have to demolish the potatoes. I'm kind of thinking I might have to do 2 bags, just even though it's not like our Thanksgiving dinner. My kids just like really love mashed potatoes. Oh, I just lost one, nice. And so I know that these are gonna be gone. My kids are getting bonus. They're getting bonus. They're getting double Thanksgiving because I'm gonna show you guys how to make it, and then I'm gonna have to make it myself next week. So that's pretty exciting for my kids. Also, I was talking to my husband last night, and I was just telling him yeah, I'm going through Thanksgiving dinner. I'm a little behind just because it's been so noisy in the house. See, I'm only cutting them into 6. So get the Yukon Golds and don't worry about peeling them. Just trust me. Don't worry about peeling them. It's a headache you don't need. And so I was telling him I'm going through this, I'm making this, and he goes, because he has a trick with making deviled eggs. One winter, he was so bored because our guys do masonry. So in the winter, they can't work because it's just so much snow. So my kids will do construction, or my husband will just, go through all the trucks and just make sure everything's ready to go for the next season. Well, he got on this kick with him and Robert. They were gonna find how to boil the perfect egg. And so I'm not lying, he literally was in the kitchen for days, weeks. He'd work, and then him and Robert would come in, and they would just, because we have an egg farm. We have 3,800 chickens or 3,500 chickens. And so we have eggs. We use the eggs that are kind of cracked. And they would grab eggs, and they would literally just time themselves doing eggs. So my husband come up with the perfect time and the perfect process for making the perfect deviled eggs. But I'm not going to tell you yet because that's for our next video, which you're going to see soon. So this week is going to be gobbled up with, this week, whatever it is. I don't know what day is this, I don't know. You're going to see so many Thanksgiving videos because I was hoping to have these all done for you so you could prepare. I'm so sorry. And I know you're going to be going shopping soon. So that's why I am in a mad dash to get all this to you. So next up is going to be the deviled eggs. And then I might have everything to make the corn casserole. So I'm going to be doing a couple different things per video so you guys can know what you need to get for groceries. And okay. Yeah, I'm just going to do one for today. And we're also having a Thanksgiving dinner at our church this weekend. So my kids are getting triple Thanksgiving. By the time Thanksgiving gets here, they might not want Thanksgiving. So I kind of, well, who doesn't want Thanksgiving all the time? Okay, so I have my half pot of water. The potatoes are in here super fast. And I mean, I'm telling you, when you cut through a yellow potato, it's like butter. It's like, you're like, yes. It's so nice. I can't even tell you how much I love Yukon Golds. And then like I said, boil them. You can boil the water first if you want. I don't. I just boil the water. And I got hot water in here. I boil the water as they cook. So when you can put a fork in it and it goes through nicely, you don't want it to go through and then divide the potato, right? You just want it to go through, and if it's nice and smooth like brownies, you put brownies in if it comes out clean. But if you put the fork in there and it goes in like really easily, they're done. Because they are going to keep cooking. So here's the thing, like even I talk about with my chocolate chip cookies, how you take them out even if they don't look done. Because they're still hot. So they're going to still cook. So even though you take them off the burner, they're still hot. And until they cool, they continue cooking. Like my scrambled eggs. I get asked all the time, how do you make the perfect scrambled eggs? You make them until they're almost done. Like, you know how when you're cooking scrambled eggs, I know has nothing to do with Thanksgiving, and they get kind of like glossy and then it loses its gloss. When you cook them and they look shiny, I take them off and I take them off the burner and keep mixing them because they're about to be done. And then I remove them from the pan. Sometimes I don't if I really undercook them, but usually my family's sitting around me waiting for dinner. So eggs are always last because eggs just aren't good reheated. They get rubbery. And so you want to undercook things a little bit. Like meat, be very careful. But with like baked goods, veggies, things like that, you're going to cook them till they're almost done because they keep cooking. And like the cookies, if you cook them till they're completely brown, you've lost your cookies. And when they cool, they're going to be like hockey pucks and you can use them outside on the ice rink. So same thing with veggies. It's okay to undercook them a little bit because they're going to still cook, if that makes any sense. Okay, and also, while these are cooking, which they're not cooking yet, I just add butter, salt, and pepper, and a little bit of cream. You can add ranch dressing, like ranch seasoning. You can get that dry ranch seasoning, add a couple tablespoons. I've done that in the past, but my son Robert does not like ranch flavoring, so I don't want to put that in there because he loves mashed potatoes and he can't eat them then. But there has been recipes where I've needed to add that to it. And Robert's not fussy. He eats whatever, but he just is not a ranch dressing guy. He eats salads like plain. He doesn't like any dressing on salads. He'll eat a big old salad with nothing on it. I don't understand that, but he just is not a dressing guy. So if you want to spoof them up and make like a ranch mashed potatoes, you do the same thing as what we're doing, and then just add a couple tablespoons of the ranch dry seasoning. I love them. I think they're super yummy, but a couple of my kids don't like it. So, but you can do that to make them even a better mashed potato. Okay, so you're gonna boil them. I'm assuming maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Just watch them when the fork goes in and it comes out, goes in nice. And now I'm just babbling. So when the fork goes in and it's nice, you're good. And then you're gonna drain them. And then I actually drain them and put the mashed potatoes back in the pot. And then I serve them that way. But if you're gonna wanna make a nice table, here goes the sign, you wanna put them in a nice casserole dish for presentation. Okay, all right. I'll be back when the mashed potatoes are done. Sorry about the blower. My oven's trying to cool off. The stuffing's out. The mashed potatoes are done. So let me show you how to tell if it's time to now make your mashed potatoes. Alrighty, so when you put a fork in it, see that? See, it's not breaking apart. It's keeping its shape. That means these potatoes are ready to be mashed. Okay, our stuffing's done. It looks so beautiful. I can't even take it. See how it's kind of brown on top a little bit? And it looks more dry, not so wet. Ooh, I'm for sure having this for lunch. Before I do anything, I throw the butter into the pot and let it melt. Okay, look at that. Butter is melted. Now it's time to add some salt and pepper, a little bit of cream, and mix them all up. I was hoping to finish this before my son-in-law David showed up to do the addition. We're so close, right? Stuffing's done, now we're doing the mashed potatoes. So I don't know if I've showed you this, but for Christmas a couple years ago, my husband got me this KitchenAid, and look, it literally has a battery that you put on, like a tool, like they use when they're doing construction. Yeah, I love it so much. And so my girls will use it, and they're like, it's not working, Mom. Yeah, hon, you gotta put the battery on. So I feel like I'm a construction worker. Like I feel really powerful with this. I love it so much. Okay, let's mix them up. First, we're gonna add the salt and pepper, and then a little bit, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna add the cream yet. I'm gonna add the salt and pepper and just see how it is. Because if it's still nice, if it's nice and fluffy without the cream, I'm not gonna add it. But you can add, like I said, the ranch dressing. You can add cheese to it if you wanna do like a cheesy potatoes, you can add that too, but I'm just trying to keep it simple. I can't compete. How can I compete with that? I can't compete. So a little bit of salt here. I'm so sorry about the noise. I'm so sorry. But I'm getting my addition put on, and then about a teaspoon of salt. There we go. All right, let's mix this up. I'm so sorry. It's like you guys are here, right? It's like you are a part of the addition. Ooh, these look good. These look really good. And they're nice and fluffy. I don't know if we're gonna have to add the cream. Let me show you. So yeah, I haven't even added the cream, and look how fluffy they are. I did add another half a stick, so I have 2 sticks of butter in here because we like them very buttery. But I think we're good. I mean, if you want to add a little cream, you can, but I don't think you need to. And see, you can see this skin's in there, but trust me, it's not a big deal. Ooh, those look great. So just a couple suggestions. You can actually, when you do your stuffing, and if you don't want to use water, you can use chicken broth. And then, I don't know, you guys, I just feel like they're pretty perfect. I added a little bit more pepper because my family really likes like a little peppery taste to it, a little bit more salt. So I would say 2 sticks of butter, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of pepper. You can taste it if you want to see what you think. You can add bacon bits to it if you want, cheese. You can add some sour cream. If you want like a twice baked potato, you could put it like when it gets done here, you can add cheese, bacon bits, sour cream, and then put it into a casserole dish and then bake it in the oven and you'd have twice baked potatoes. So that's actually a really good idea. We should definitely do that. I have bacon right there. But I'm just gonna keep it simple because we're trying to make this simple Thanksgiving dinner, but that's an idea for you. If you're making like meatloaf or something like that, make a twice baked potato. Just make your mashed potatoes, add the cheese, the bacon bits, the sour cream, maybe some chives, put it into a casserole dish and bake it. Make sure the top is all brown. Maybe you could even drizzle butter on the top of it and then it'll kind of get brown on top. I think I'm gonna be doing that. I think that's gonna be coming, meatloaf and twice baked potatoes. Twice baked mashed potatoes. I'm doing it. You guys are gonna see me do it. But let me put them in, look at the cutest little bowl. Because it's not official until you stick them into a cute little bowl. Okay, let's get it into our bowl. Ooh, my bowl might be a little too big. But I think I'm having some Thanksgiving dinner for lunch today. So I had a couple other cute bowls, but they're the same color as the mashed potatoes, and I want the mashed potatoes to stand out. So I got to get moving because if I'm going to show you mac and cheese, if I'm going to show you a sweet potato casserole, that is so yum. I actually come up with it myself. It wasn't a copycat of anything. So yummy. Okay, ooh, look at those. Now, if you want to make them pretty, you can sprinkle them with a little bit of chives if you want. I'm not going to. And then when you make your turkey, you're gonna save the juices. And I should have done that. You save the juices and make your gravy. It's so easy. I'll actually put it in the comments. Let me get that out of the way. I'll put it in the comments, the description. So all you do is you take the juices, you make a little roux. So it is like maybe 2 tablespoons of butter, a 1/4 cup of flour, salt and pepper, and you make like a roux. Mix that into your saucepan until it forms a paste. Let it bubble for, I don't know, maybe a minute. And then you're gonna slowly whisk in your turkey juices until, I don't know how much, we love gravy, so I have to make a lot of it. And then you just keep mix it in slowly because it's gonna be thick at first, like a thick goo. But as you continue to add the gravy while you're whisking, it gets a little thinner. So depending on how thin you want it, and you just pour it over your mashed potatoes, your stuffing, your whatever. Okay, we did it. Look at this. I mean, they're so perfect. I can't take it. How beautiful is that? And here's my other one. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm making I'm telling you, that sausage stuffing's amazing. Like, I can't get enough of it. And the perfect mashed potatoes. And yes, I know, it's so easy to make mashed potatoes. People are like, why are you showing how to make mashed potatoes? Because for some people, it's not that easy. And I know when I was starting out cooking, I couldn't do anything. Like, I couldn't even make an egg. Like, I could make an egg, but I burnt it. Like, I just didn't know. I just needed help. And so I feel like if you're a first-time cook, things that we think are simple, sometimes they aren't, And so that's why I'm doing this. I want to start teaching you, sharing with you tips and teaching you things that are easy to make. Because when I was a new wife, I really didn't start cooking until we started to have children. Like, 5 years later is when I really started to cook. And it was simple stuff because I was busy, super simple. And then when my kids got older is when I started to do more of a variety of foods, teaching myself how to make a roux, looking up ingredients, studying how to cook, because it is a science and an art, So maybe making mashed potatoes is a no-brainer to you, but maybe it's not to somebody else. And so I want to just show you all this just to make it easier for you if it is your first Thanksgiving dinner. I just want to share with you recipes that are so easy to make And I know it tends to be a little overwhelming sometimes when you're first time cooking in the kitchen. But you can do it. You got this. I had to learn also. I had my mom and my mother-in-law help me. You know, they come over for the holidays and help me out, and then I'm on my own. And so I'm having to learn this by myself. And, you know, so yeah, so thanks so much for joining me on making the mashed potatoes and the stuffing. Next time, you're gonna see me make deviled eggs, and I think I'm gonna do the sweet potato casserole because I just bought a pile of sweet potatoes because they're like 50 cents a pound. I'm gonna need way more because I'm gonna have to make this again. But I have them in the fridge, so I think I have everything to make it. And I don't even know if I put the marshmallows on top. I know some do, but I don't know if my kids, I'm gonna have to ask Brendan because he's like my really, like he loves the corn casserole, and him and Haley and Gideon are like the sweet potato casserole. And I don't remember, I know a lot of the ingredients, but I don't remember if I put the marshmallows on top. I'm not sure if they liked it or not because that's an option. You can add the marshmallows on top or not. So I'm gonna figure that out though before we do that next video, but you'll see that one like right after this one because I have to get all this in before you start getting your grocery list going. But all right, well, thanks again. Make sure to subscribe and like to our family page. And the holidays are coming. I'm super excited. Got my house decorated. I'm gonna show you guys that also, do a little tour. I haven't wrapped one present. Can you believe that? It's almost Thanksgiving. I haven't wrapped one present. I have presents, but I haven't wrapped them. But after the holidays though, I'm gonna start going through a series of teaching you how to cook simple things and learning ingredients and how to put things together. And I'm super, super excited about it. My husband is actually one of the people that, let me try that again. My husband is the one that I was talking to him about our platforms. I'm like, what can I do? Because I wanna do something on our platforms that people need, right? I mean, it's entertaining. I love watching funny things too, but I really wanna be a help, like especially in the kitchen, cooking, because that's my language of love, is cooking and baking and giving. I do love to give. I do, for sure. And my husband's like, why don't you just teach people how to make simple things that you think are not that hard, but for others they are. I said, that's a great idea. Okay, well, thanks so much. Look out for the next one.